So, good morning, friends. We want to learn our subject, that is data visualization. The code of it is 3160717. In this, as we know that HTML is the prerequisite, right? So let us start with the HTML4, and then after we'll learn HTML5. So for that, here in our lab, we will be using the Bluefish editor or any other HTML editor. It is not compulsory to have this editor only. You can use any other notepad or any text editor also. It does not have any issue, but as this is the popular one, we are using it. Fine. Okay. So here, what we are having in HTML4. See, it is the prerequisite of our subject. So you should know that. But if some of you don't know that, let us study it. Okay. So here we are having the tags. Tags, that means you can say whatever is written inside less than and greater than. Whatever is written inside this is called tag, and we may be writing something in the two, you can say in between two tags, then that is called the text according to that. Fine. So for example, HTML is a tag, then HTML, this is called the starting tag. When we are having, say, and HTML, that is with the help of this slash, it is called and HTML. For all the tags, and is not available, right? So we may have to see that where it is available, where it is not available. Fine. If you put and, then also it doesn't matter, right? For the tags where it is not compulsory. Okay. So what is HTML? HTML is hypertext. Hypertext markup language. It is hypertext markup language. What does that mean? Markup. Markup, that means which mark a particular thing. When we are having, say, any particular document, therein what we do is title we used to put in the center with big letters, bold letters, underline. So from that we can understand that it is the title. Whenever say paragraph is there, what we do is we are putting few spaces and then after we are start writing, so we can understand that it is a paragraph. If we want to show a particular thing, that is if we want to give the effect, we may be using the text as bold or otherwise italics, right? So these are the characteristics and which is called markup, and the language, that is HTML, that is hypertext markup language. What is the need of this hypertext markup language? That was in older days, say we are having Microsoft Word, or you can say that we are having Open Office or LibreOffice. In all, we can create the document file. That is, you can say DOC file or ODF files, right? But, but, their format is different. If I am able to see here as this HTML bold, in other we may not be, because it depends on the interpretation of that particular word processor. So what to do? So what to do? and and how to see the document in the same way as it was created. So for that, there was a need of the language which gives us same interpretation of the text irrespective of any platform or browser. So for that, HTML was found. Now, do we want to have only the word processor? Then we can say we could have the simple word processor which will be used in all the platforms. Shouldn't we make that? It could be easier, but that was the time when www, that is World Wide Web, was getting popular, and that time we need to have the language, we need to have the documents which are passed through the web, right, which are accessible. Past, if we do not want to say past, we can say we should be able to access them, and we should be able to see it as the same look as it was designed with the purpose, right? So for that, simple text and with markup capability was required, and for that HTML was found, right? So now let us see the HTML tags. HTML tags, or you can say HTML files, they are starting with HTML and they end with an HTML. Fine. So what is there inside it? We can say we are having the head tag. Head. So for that we can say starting head tag and end head tag. Inside that we can write the title. That is the title of the page. Let me write it as, say, my first HTML. Right. Let me save it. I'm saving it in, say, documents, data visualization, and the HTML files are there. What is the name of this file? That you can give as you want. Say, I'm giving it as first dot HTML. What is the extension of HTML? That is dot HTML or dot HTM. Right? Typically it is dot HTML. So let me save this file. Now, I want to see how it looks in the browser to interpret or to see the view of this particular HTML file. We can use the browser. So, this gives us preview in the browser. So, let me click on that. It is opening Firefox browser. Does it give us anything? Is there anything here? No, nothing is there. But, 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 if you see here, there it is, my first HTML. That is what is the title, isn't it? Where we have returned that? We have returned that inside this title tag, right? Okay, so that is the head tag. We can be using the meta tag, which provides the information of this particular web page, right? So for that, we can say meta. Then you can say we can write the keywords. That is with this particular page is being recognized by the search engines like Google, Yahoo, or any other, right? So we can provide the keywords. Let me say it is HTML, comma, say my first page or whatever, and say I want to give my name also. That is, if you find, say, Professor Ami Choksi, then you can find it from this particular page, right? So I can say Professor Ami Choksi, right? So these are the keywords for this particular page. And if somebody finds, then they will be able to find this page with these particular words. For search engine optimization, this is must. Whenever you are making any HTML page, this is required. See, if you do not write, it is not going to give you any error. But if you put it, it makes the effect, right? Okay, so this is the attribute of it, that is where you can say less than and greater than. So that is the tag, isn't it? This title is a tag that is known to us. Now with that tag, space, and if you are giving, say, key is equal to value, whatever is the key and whatever is the value is typically written inside double quotes, and this is called attribute name for this tag, and this is the value of it, right? So that is, we can say that meta tag, it must be there as a good programmer, right? Otherwise it is okay. If you are not putting it, is not going to give you any error. Let me save it and refresh this page in the browser. Does it give me anything here? No, nothing. Because it is useful to search engine and not as a view you can see that. Fine, it's okay. Now let us go to the code again. So now we want to have the body of this particular HTML page. So how can I have it? That is using body tag. Now here, what I can write, I want to write the title of the page. So I'll be using the head tags, right? That is a heading tag. For that, we can say the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. These are the heading tags. Let me show you that here. Say I want to give it as H1 tag, right? So you can see that what are the sizes of these tags, right? I'm just copying it and pasting it here so you can have the idea. This H2, H3, H4, 5, 6. Let me show you that. This is H2. Here also we'll write it as H2. Here also we'll write it as H2. Then after this is H3. Here also H3. Here also H3. Then we can say H4. Then here also H4. Here also H4. Right? H5. Then H5. And here also H5. Right? And here H6. You can say I want to try for H7. You can try. That is not the recognized tag in HTML, right? So we can use from H1 to H6. Okay, now let me see the view because I have already saved it, right? I can refresh this page. You can see H1, bigger one. H2, smaller to H1. H3, smaller in comparison of H2. H4 is smaller in comparison of H3. H5 is smaller in comparison to H4. And H6, the text does not change. H6, right? Okay. So it is H6 tag, right? We can see that in decreasing order, H1 to H6. H1 is biggest one and H6 is smallest one, right? But they are the header tags, and when we are having header tags, at that time we see them as bold one, isn't it? Right? So when you want to see the page heading, we can be using it as H1 tag, right? If I want to have the paragraph text, The P tag is there. Everything now is being written inside the body tag, right? So let me write the P tag. Fine. It is called paragraph tag. Okay. Say, we are learning data visualization subject, right? Visualization subject. So let me save this and refresh the view. Let's see. Here we can see that, right? We are learning data visualization subject. Paragraph tag does not mean we should be having few spaces as we are having in our normal English, right? It only says that whatever the text is there, the line will be broken. I mean to say that in the next line we will be able to see the text for P tag. Let me write it once again. I mean to say that one more P tag I should use, then I can see it as this one, right? Let me change the subject so you can have the idea difference you can find in the line, right? I'm giving one more. Now let me refresh this page. Yeah. We are learning data visualization subject. You could have started from this line only, but as you have used the P tag, it is coming to the next line. Fine? Okay, so that is the use of P tag. Now, if I want to have the bold tag, I want to bold some text. So for that, I can be using B tag, B start, B end, right? So for that, my name is Ami, right? I have saved it. Now, looking the preview, that is, you can see the bold text is there, right? Bold text is there. Fine. If I want to see the italics, I can use it as italic I. Then you can say, here you can write it as say Choksi, right? My name is say Ami Choksi. Now, let me write it here and save and see the refresh page, right? You can see that this is italics. Okay, that is, you can say text is little bit slanted, right? So that is the italics text. We can have the table text also. We can have the underline text also, right? So you can have the list also. How we can have that? Let us see first of all underline text. What is there in it? See here, we do not have to worry that the tag is starting from the new line or not. You can put it as you want, right? So here you can say our DV subject, right? Data visualization subject. So I'm saving it and refreshing where it is. It is here, right? Refresh this page. You can see it is underlined, right? It is underlined. Fine. If you want, we can increase the size so you can see it properly. Fine. You can see that underlined text is there. Okay. So now let us have the list available. For that, you can say we can have two types of list available. That is say unordered list and ordered list. So if we want to have the unordered list, we can be using UL and UL. In between that, what we should do is we should use the list item. So for that, we are using LI and LI. Say I want to give the list of the subjects which you are learning. So for that, I am giving the text for that. Say DV, then after we can say LI and LI. Let me copy that and paste it. So we will be able to give the different text of it, right? Here we can have, yeah, wait a moment. It is not copied, right? So let us copy this and here paste it. Fine. Okay. Let us have the paste again so we can see more items. Okay. DV, DM. Then we can say TOC. Then after say SS or IoT, right? Okay, so this many subjects I have added for UL, that is unordered list. Fine. I have saved that. Let me refresh this. This is unordered list, right? Unordered, that means we should be able to see the list with bullets. Fine. Okay. If I want to have the sub list, I can have the UL tag again inside it. Okay. So that you can try. Now, what I'm doing is the same thing. We do not want to have this just now. Let us remove this. Okay, we are learning the UL. Fine. Now, for UL, whatever items are there, I'm copying and pasting. Now, what I want is for say ordered list, what should we have is OL, ordered list, right, instead of UL. So let me remove one and add one more so you can see the difference. That is say IoT, right? And you can say here AJ. Fine. So you can see the difference. Nothing more than that. Fine. AJP. Let's see the output here. See the difference. This is unordered list where you were able to see the bullets, and this is ordered list where you can find 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. So you can say that here this is unordered list, this is ordered list. Fine. We can have the table also. If we want to have the table text, what we can do is we can have the table. Just now we do not want to have anything like this. Then we can have table and end table. We can have the data, that is with the help of TR, that is a row, and TD inside that, that is the data, right? So TD and TD, right? Let me say 1, then again say same thing. Let me repeat. So we can see it as TD. Now here I'll say it as 2. Then after you can see here this is 3. Right. So this way we can see. Let's see the output of it. 1, 2, 3. You can say border is not there, but we haven't yet put it. Right. We can give it as the border is equal to 1. So the thickness we are providing here. Let me refresh this. You can see, right? 1, 2, 3. The border is there. Fine. If I want to have more data, that is, if I want to have more columns, what I can do is the same thing. I'll repeat, right? Say here, I'll copy this. That is the second row data, but I am putting it here. Repeat, only the text I am repeating, okay? Here also I am putting the same. Here also I am putting the same. Inside the TR tag we have to write. Fine. I have saved that. And let's see the view of it. You can see for all 3 rows, we are able to see 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. Right? Now what if I do not give the data here? For this, I am removing the data. What happens? Let me show you. Yeah. Data is not there for third row, second column. So it's okay. We do not have that. Fine. So here the blank is there. Fine. If you provide the data, you can see that. If you do not provide the data, it's not there. Right. If I give it as TH, what we can give is, say, 1. What it show me, what it gives me, we can see the heading of first column, right? So that way, if you want to have one more, then you can give it as the table head, right? That is the TH, fine? 2. Okay. So let us see that here. You can see the 2. There is a heading, right? We used to give the heading in bold letters, so we do not have to do it separately, but th tag is there. Fine. So we can say that we are able to have this thing. Yeah, one more thing is we can have the we can have the HR tag. That is the horizontal line. Let me show you that. This is horizontal line, isn't it? HR tag. Now, see, these are the tags where you can have the static page. You can create the static HTML pages where whatever is written, that only you will be able to see as the effect. If we want to collect the dynamic data from the user, what we want to have is we want to have the form. So how we can do that? For that, we can say we are having the form tag. Right. So for form, we can have the action. Action is the page with to which this data will be given. Say for that, we can be having server-side scripting. That is, you can say PHP is there, Soulet is there, JSP is there, or any other server-side scripting language page is there. So let me say here, this is test.php. See, we are not going to write the PHP page. I'm just showing you that the action, that is whatever will be filled here for this form, that will be submitted to test.php, right? Okay, so that's what I'm giving here. Action. What else? That is the end. This is what is required. But here we can provide one more attribute, that is method. For form methods, we do have two methods. One is get and second one is post. Get method is used when you want to pass the small data, as well as that will be visible. The parameters will be visible to the user. How? Let me show you. Then we'll show you the post method. Let us first take the name, and better to put it inside p tag so we can see it properly. Fine. Now inside this, just to give the proper look, I have put it inside the p tag. Otherwise, it is not at all required. For that, we can say input type. What type of input we are going to take from the user? So for that, input type is equal to text and name. Name is equal to, say, username. Now this is the name with which the action file will collect the data. Let me show you this. And after this, what is required? That is, input type is equal to submit. That is what is required to submit the data to the action page. Input type is equal to submit. Let me show you how it shows us the file. That is a view. You can see, right? This is a form. we are having the form available. Fine. So what I do is I can type my name here, right? The form, we can say, the form which is collecting the data from the user. That's what we are able to see here. If I submit the query, what I can see, you can say file not form, ma'am, something is wrong. No, because we do not have that test.php, which is our action page. Right now, what is seen here? Let me copy that because here it is too small. Let me show you here only. What we are able to see in the browser, that is, what is this one? Let me show you. It was file colon triple slash home, AMI, documents, data visualization. Why it is this path? It is because this file, this HTML file which we have opened in the browser, that is available in this particular path. You can say this is our local file. If it is available on a web server, and if we have accessed that using HTTP localhost something, then we will find that particular path, right? As we have opened that using the control O, that is open file, we are able to see it as file colon triple slash home AMI documents data visualization, and you can say test.php. Now see what is required. That is question mark username is equal to AMI plus Choksi. Have I written AMI plus Choksi? No. I have written AMI space Choksi. But it has given me AMI plus Choksi. Why is it so? It is because the space or any particular special characters which cannot be the part of URL, then those will be converted to the hexadecimal characters, that is hexadecimal numbers, and with percentage, and that hexadecimal number, that will be the real character, right? So for space we can say it is 32. I guess it is 32. So what we can say is, whatever is its hexadecimal number, that will be converted here. Suppose it is percentage 20, then according to that, whatever is the character, that will be put here, right? So that's what is the encoding done to the spatial characters which are available in the form data. Fine. So here, okay, fine. For AMI plus Choksi, we understood. But what is this? Test.php. What is that? That is our action page to which our form data will be sent. So this question mark. Then this username. Why it is so? And that is being embedded to the action URL. Why? Because it is get method. Get method concatenates the form parameters to the action URL. Fine. So for that, we can say that this was our action URL, right? Action we have written, where we have written, that was written in form action, right? In the form action we have written that. So with that, what it does, it concatenates the question mark when it is get method. We are able to see that, right? Yeah. Now here, what was the form parameter? That was username. We can see that here, right? This is username. Name is equal to username. So that's what we are able to see here, right? So whatever was the parameter name, that is being returned here, and that is equal to value. In value, whatever are the special characters, those will be replaced with the the equivalent hexadecimal characters, right? Here it is plus. So instead of AMI space Choksi, will be able to see it as Ami plus Choksi. You can say this is the wrong data which is being passed to the server. No, this is the way it is being passed to the server, that is to the server script test.php, and at that place it will be decoded, and from Ami plus Choksi it will be converted to Ami space Choksi, and you will be getting the data. Fine. Okay. So we are able to see the file not found here, and the meaning of this question mark username is equal to Ami plus Choksi. You can understand. Fine. Now one more thing which I want to show is, if I give this method as post, then what happens? This is post, right? Two methods are there. One is get, one is post, right? This was the thing which I have shown you, right? Saved. Let me show. This is actually wrong. We cannot write anything outside the HTML. Right. This is just to use the editor. I have put it. And if you want, I can show you here. No issue for that. Right. Let me show you the output where we have to go back. Fine. Have refreshed. Right. Now, for this form, I am pressing submit query. What was this? That was for our get method, right? Which we were able to see in the location bar or address bar of the browser. Now what I am doing is, I am having the query and submitting the query, but now the method is post. So let me submit this. You can say again, file not found. File is not available. So it will definitely give the same thing, but, but what we are able to see in the location bar, let me show you that here. Let me show in the P tag. So you can see that here. That is just to show you, okay? Let me go back, refresh this and see. See the difference. This was the get method, right? Get method with which we were able to see something in the location bar. This is for the post method. Can we see question mark username is equal to Ami plus Choksi? No. And that is why post method is more secured, because for get method we can see the data in the location bar, but but for post method we cannot see the data in the location bar, right? So that is what is the difference between get method and post method. One more difference is that whenever you want to send small data, we should use the get method, and security is not of much concern. If we want to have the secure data as well as we want to pass more data, then we should use the post method. What do we mean by less data and more data? Typically, people used to say that if we want to pass the data till 1K, that is 1024 bytes, we should use the get method. Small data. And if we want to pass, say, file, like say, I want to pass my photo or want to get the photo of somebody, or if we want to have the attachment of any particular files, then we should use the post method. Hope the difference between get method and post method is clear to you. Fine. So these are for the simple input type is equal to text and input type is equal to submit. We can have some more, that is for radio button, checkbox, right? So for that, what should we do? Input type is equal to where was that? Yeah, here I can show you all the things available that will be better to you. Say we can have, can you see the help here? No, I think. See, I'm speaking. You can see it yourself in the particular editor. And one more thing is you can do the pin to this particular screen. So you'll be able to see it bigger, right? Let me show you that. You can have that idea. See, input type is equal to button. Name and value you can always provide. Value we haven't provided till now because we did not wish to have the default value, right? But if you want, you can provide. Next is input type is equal to checkbox. If we want to have the checkbox, you can have that. And whether you want to provide it as checked or not, that you can give. If you want to provide the input type is equal to file, that means you will be able to see it as the file upload, right? The way you are having the attachment type things. So that you can provide as input type is equal to file. Then input type is equal to hidden. If you want to pass the parameters as hidden mode, that is no text box is displayed, you just want to pass the data in hidden mode, you can use input type is equal to hidden. Then input type is equal to image. That is, if we want to provide the image and you want to provide it as the value, that is the image is there, then you can say that input type is equal to password. Wherever you want to type the password, so you can use it as input type is equal to password. Then input type is equal to radio, that is a radio button we want to use. If you want to reset the form, you can be using it as input type is equal to reset. If you want to submit the form, you can be using it as input type is equal to submit. And if you want to get the text, you can be specifying input type is equal to text, name, value, and max length also, right? So these are the things you can use with form and see the effect. Fine. So let me show you the input type is equal to radio, name, and value, right? Let me show you that. Input type is equal to, let me write something here. Here say choice. Input type is equal to say radio. Name is equal to say choice. And value is equal to say 1. Right? Let me give this. Now, what we can see with this? Let me show you the output. Yeah, here you can click this, right? But, 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 do you want to have only one choice? You want to have something, right? So, and one more thing is the value for this is 1, but can we see 1 as the visual form here? No. So what we do is name is equal to this, value is equal to 1, right? But it doesn't display me any value for that, right? So let me give it as 1, right? Now what I do? Same thing I'll copy and will show you, right? Choice is not there, but 1 is there, fine. Let me see that. If you want to show that in enter the choices, we can put it here. That is enter, or you can say select, right? Better. Select your choice. This is 1, this is second. Now, name will remain same, but value will be 2. So, if we are selecting the second one, the value will be 2. And that will reflect here also. Fine. Let me show you that. Refresh. Okay. You can see that. Here we are able to see 1, this is 2. Fine. Only 1 you can select. Only 1 you can select because we have given the same name to both the radio buttons, but the value is different. Fine. If I submit this, this is post method, so we cannot see anything here after the action page. Fine. But if it is get method, we can see that Let me show you that also. This is get method. Let me show you. Let us refresh this. Now, what is that? If you want to check it out whether the changes are reflected or not, what you can do is you can always right click and see view page source. So here the source is there. Control plus plus. We can see the method is get. So whatever changes you have done to the HTML file, whether you have saved and it is reflected here or not, that you can see here. Fine. Now, I am selecting second option, right? And submitting the query. Now you can see question mark username is equal to something and choice is equal to 2. Let me show you here. For this radio button, what we are able to see is, let me write it here for radio button, right? So you can have the idea. Radio button, right? So after that, what you see, let me show you the output, right? What was that? For that radio button, with what we have clicked, we were able to see the output as action URL question mark, username is equal to Omi plus Choksi and choice is equal to 2 because the name of that radio button was choice and the value is equal to 2. Fine. So that is about the form. If I give it as checkbox, what happens? Let me give it as checkbox. Instead of radio, now I am giving it as checkbox. Let me see. Checkbox. For checkbox, what is the thing? That we can select multiple, isn't it? So for that, we can not provide it as the same name. We can be providing it as the different names. Or you may be giving it as this one. Let us check it out what happens, right? Now we can see the check boxes, right? We can see the check boxes. Let me select this. Let me select this. What happens? 2 check boxes are selected, right? So submit. What it gives? It now gives me as username is equal to Ami plus Choksi and choice is equal to 1 and choice is equal to 2. That is, for choice, we are having 2 values. Let me put it here so you can see that properly. Right? For, we can say, checkbox. We can see it as this one. Fine? You can see what we are able to see. Yeah, here it is for checkbox. This is action URL. Then username is equal to Ami plus Choksi and choice is equal to 1 and choice is equal to 2. Fine. If I want to have, say, 2 choices, I mean to say, for, say, professional course 1 and you can say elective course 1, then I should have given it as the different names as I was telling you before. That is, here we'll be having it as choice 1. Name is different. You can say instead of this, say professional course 1, right? And here say you are having open elective 1, right? Open elective 1, right? So that will be different. One is for you can say PC1. If you are having group of text, that is, you can say for PC1 you are having subject 1, 2, 3. Among that, you should select 1 or more than that. You can be using checkbox. If you want to have, say, only 1 among that, you should provide the radio button, right? That is, Very simple. We should give the same name when we want to have the data for the same thing. We should give the different names when we want to have the different categories, right? Different things are there. I mean, say professional elective or professional course, and say open elective, right? So if we want to have different things, we should take the different things. Fine. We can provide the block quote if we want to have some space available. Let me show you that. Testing. You can see that paragraph, like I mean, in English, the way we are having paragraph, that is few spaces left, and then after you are writing the text, that you can find with the help of this block quote, right? So whatever majority required things of HTML4, that is what we have covered.